All right, so we're recording now. We are going out on YouTube. I want you to bring the fire. I just don't want YouTube to put a fire hose on it. You know
I,
how
I
that
got you. I
is.
got you. I will be on my best behavior. See what the halo just popped up right now. Did you see it? Did you catch it?
I saw it. I saw it.
Put it in a different
Surveillance
spectrum.
state. If you control history, you control identity, you control loyalty, and ultimately, you control the future. Most of us were taught that history was a collection of facts, neutral, safe, settled. But history, real history, is not neutral. It's not safe, and it was never settled. Because history isn't written by the victors, it's written by the survivors. And the greatest survivors in human history were never kings, were never presidents, were never governments. The greatest survivors in history were systems. Systems of control, systems of infiltration, systems that learned how to survive, not by force, but by faith, by fear, and by rewriting history itself. For the last 500 years, the most powerful system of control the world has ever known was not built in Washington, D.C. It wasn't built in London. It wasn't built in Moscow or Beijing. It was built in Rome. Today, they call it the Vatican. But its most dangerous weapon isn't its wealth, isn't its hidden knowledge, isn't its rituals, isn't even its religion. It's the Jesuit order. Founded in 1540 by a Spanish soldier named Ignatius of Loyola, the Jesuits were never just missionaries. They were soldiers, political operatives, masters of infiltration, masters of control. And their mission? To defend the Pope's power at any cost. Wherever freedom rose, wherever truth threatened their empire, the Jesuits followed. Not to fight on battlefields, but to conquer the mind, to control the narrative, and to rewrite history. By the 1700s, Catholic nations themselves had expelled them. France, Spain, Portugal. Even the Pope, terrified by their influence, suppressed them. But like every system of power, they adapted, they survived. And by the 1800s, Jesuit agents had reached the highest levels of influence in a young and rising nation, the United States of America. This isn't theory, this is documented history. During the American Civil War, Abraham Lincoln saw the dark hand of Rome moving behind the scenes. In 1864, just 1 year before his assassination, President Lincoln told former Catholic priest Charles Chinquapay, "I see a very dark cloud on our horizon, and that cloud is coming from Rome." And when Lincoln was assassinated, a military tribunal investigated. One of its key members was Union General Thomas M. Harris. He wasn't a conspiracy theorist. He was a decorated officer of the United States Army. His conclusion? That the Jesuits and their agents were behind the plot to kill the President of the United States. Harris wrote it plainly. "It is my conviction that the Jesuits were behind the assassination of Abraham Lincoln." The U.S. government responded. For nearly 115 years, from 1867 to 1984, there were no formal diplomatic relationships between the United States and the Vatican, because America had seen the truth. Rome wasn't just a church. Rome was a political machine, an empire without borders, a system of infiltration, subversion, and control. Were you aware of this? No. Why do you think this isn't taught in history books today? And speaking of things that were never mentioned to us, almost no one was ever taught what really happened to the Roman Empire. We were told the Roman Empire fell. 476 AD, the fall of the Western Roman Empire. That's what the history books tell us. But the truth? The Roman Empire didn't fall. It adapted. It evolved. Empires that survive don't keep fighting with swords and shields. They learn to fight for hearts, for minds, and for souls. The Roman Empire realized it didn't need legions. It needed loyalty. It didn't need territory. It needed influence. And so, the empire went underground. Its generals became priests. Its armies became missionaries. Its governors became bishops. And its Caesars, they put on new robes. They became popes. The Jesuit order, the Society of Jesus, was Rome's greatest weapon. Not to save souls, but to save an empire, to infiltrate nations, to control kings, to rewrite history, and to wage spiritual war, not with swords, but with strategy. And just when you think it couldn't get any stranger, on a remote mountain in Arizona, Mount Graham, sits the Vatican Observatory, operated by Jesuit priests. One of the most advanced telescopes in the world, built not just to watch the stars, but perhaps to watch for what's coming. And on that same mountain, another telescope, originally named Lucifer, a real instrument named by secular scientists at the same observatory complex. Later, it was renamed Lucy, L-U-C-I, after public backlash. But the question still stands. Why would the world's most powerful religious institution with the most controversial history of secrecy and control be so invested in watching the heavens and preparing to welcome, apparently, whatever might be coming from them? Because here is what the Vatican has already said publicly. According to their own astronomers, if extraterrestrials exist, they may be considered our brothers in creation. Beings who could be baptized, beings who could be saved, beings who, in their words, might not even need redemption because they may have never fallen. Sounds like a setup. This isn't science fiction. This is public record. This is how deep the deception runs. A system so ancient, so adaptive, that it now prepares to lead the world not only through governments, not only through religion, but even in a future first contact event with aliens. Friends, this isn't about bashing Catholics. This isn't about attacking faith. This is about systems of power. This is about history. History that has been erased, buried, suppressed, but never forgotten. Because if history is written by the victors, what happens when the infiltrators win? Look, I know this is a lot. I know that for some of you, this might sound wild. This might sound offensive. This might even sound impossible. But I'm going to ask you something right now. Are you so caught up in what you've been told all your life, so loyal to what you've always heard, what you've always thought to be true, that you're unwilling to even test it? Because truth doesn't fear investigation. Truth welcomes it. Truth survives the fire. It survives the test. So rather than dismiss it, rather than label it, cancel it, or just move on, I'm asking you, be honest enough to listen, brave enough to test it, strong enough to follow the evidence wherever it leads. Because that's all my guest today, Johnny Cirucci, that's all he's doing. He's testing history, he's testing the narrative, and he's testing the system. And for me, I want to take the test too. I'm not here to tell you what to think. I'm here to walk the same road with you, to test it, to question it, and to search for what's real. So wherever you stand, whatever you believe, I invite you, take the test with me. Let's listen, let's ask, let's see where the evidence leads. Because truth survives the test. Because I don't fear the truth, I chase it. And this, my friends, is the Ryan Files. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm excited this week to have the one and only Johnny Gio Cirucci on the Ryan Files. Thank you for joining me, buddy.
Ryan Pelton, it is absolutely a thrill to be with you. You are, you're a good man. You're a good Christian. You're a lot of fun, and I am ready to go, brother.
Awesome. So I texted you or emailed you a while back, and I said, "Hey, Johnny, would you like to come on the show? Would you like to talk about this, this, and this, and this?" And you're like, "You know what? No, I'll come on, but we're going to talk about Rome." So let's go. This is a guy who
listen. The worst thing you could do is hit me with a subject. I will have an opinion on every peanut butter sandwich. I will talk for 20 minutes on peanut butter. You hit me with whatever you want to hit me. Here's my desire. Here's what I think is a very important issue. This is why I'm so blessed to be on with you today, my beloved Ryan Pelton. This is why, because in our community, especially among Christian men, I believe we have an imbalance is the word. We have an imbalance. Okay. We get wrapped up in aliens and Nephilim and UFO and CERN and all things that have kernels of truth. That's why we get wrapped up. We get pulled in because there absolutely is a basis of truth. But there is a machine of deception that is encouraging us to stay there, to just go full in and just do, make it your life and just constantly listening to it. And I'm worried that this is a first or second Timothy, tickle the ears Timothy stuff. Tickle the ears Timothy stuff. I'll give you an example. A counter to this is I have friends within the Adventist community. I am not an Adventist. I'm not a religionist at all. It's me, Jesus Christ, and my roadmap is the Bible, the scripture, preferably a Textus Receptus based Bible, but without Elizabethan Shakespearean English in it, which is hard to find, by the way. And we'd do a whole show just on Bible translations, but I don't want to get sidetracked, which is what I like to do too much. I get yelled at for that. So, I think that there is a machine out there that takes these, and I was talking about Adventism. Adventism gets a lot right. It gets a lot right, but it's dogmatic. It's dogmatic about what it gets right, and unfortunately, it's dogmatic about what it gets wrong. So this is why I don't do religion. And one of the things that Adventism is very dogmatic about is sons of Seth versus sons of Cain, and explaining, okay, that there's some issues here. We're going to talk about, let's talk about Daniel 9. Let's talk about Daniel 2, right? He's explaining the dream to King Nebuchadnezzar. And doesn't he say the seed will try to cleave and won't be able to? That tells me there's something other than man trying some sort of genetic skullduggery. How about this? We've got Goliath is 9 feet 9 inches tall. All right. What happened there? Oh, and also 6 fingers and 6 toes. And this is consistent throughout a race of giants. Okay. That's not lines of Cain, lines of Seth. There's something else going on. Okay. Well, Christ himself said that angels don't marry. Who said anything about marrying? Who said anything about actual physical intercourse? All you need is the technology for genetic skullduggery. Okay. You just need the technology for genetic. You take this from this person and this from this person, and you mix it together in a wrong way, and boom, this is what you got. Okay. Which exactly, I think, what Jude's talking about. So the Adventists go to the wrong extreme. I think there is a community within Christianity, within guys like us, guys that are asking questions. Okay. But it's a temptation to go too far so that we miss the point. There's a bigger point. There's a much bigger danger out there. I am worried about cloning. I'm worried about mixed lines of genetics, poisoned lines of genetics. I'm worried about that. I'm worried about government experimentation. I'm worried about Vatican experimentation. Okay. I'm worried about this stuff, but there is a much more. We'll use Tom Clancy, Jesuit trained Roman Catholic Tom Clancy, clear and present danger. And that is a system that is enslaving us, poisoning us, killing us, exploiting us, and lying to us. And there is a very obvious force behind this system that is hidden itself from us. All you got to do is go back 500 years and church. I despise the word church. Brilliant. One of the greatest Christians ever lived, William Tyndale, who was betrayed by Henry VIII and was it Thomas More, right? Devout Roman Catholic. I think he was a priest also. He was a consecrated priest. Thomas More. Betrayed and burned alive at the stake. He was supposedly given the generosity of being choked to death, but his executioner was Catholic and left him alive to be burned alive. What was his crime? He put Bibles in the hands of Christians in their own language. And so he was hunted down by fide defender of the faith, Henry VIII, the great Protestant, breakaway Protestant. Brilliant. Love William Tyndale. William Tyndale, when he was translating his Bible, there's a movie, God's Outlaw. Good movie. God's Outlaw. Good movie. And there's a great scene in it that I have clipped and I've put up on my channels of how his friend is looking and reading his translation. And what does he say? You have used the word congregation for ecclesia when clearly this means church. And the comeback is just brilliant. Yes, but church implies shorn and oiled and pomp and circumstance and hierarchy. Christ nailed religion to the cross. Christ nailed religion to the cross. The key to salvation is you. Who's responsible for your soul? You are. You're responsible for your soul, not your pastor, not your priest, not your bishop, not your cardinal, not your pope. There is no vicarious filii Dei. Well, actually, there is. He's 666. That's what vicarious. If you take the numerological significance of vicarious filii Dei in Latin, and Latin letters have numerological values. Some of them do, some don't. And add them up. Vicarious filii Dei equals 666. That's the Pope. Just a coincidence, Ryan. Just keep going. Just a coincidence. So the essence to being born again in Jesus Christ is to have a personal relationship. This concept of a miniature pilgrimage every weekend. You get the family, you put nice clothing on, and you go to a sacred place, and you pull Jesus out of his cubby hole, and you let someone else teach you and your family. You hang your brain and your soul on the post as you walk in, and you shake hands and you do all things, and you get a little coffee maybe, and you sit down and you turn it all over to the guy that's up on the pulpit, and he runs it for you, and you trust him implicitly. He's a pastor, right? He would never say something that was wrong. He's gone to seminary, right? What is seminary? Seminary is where you train priests historically. And he'd never have an ulterior motive. He'd never get anything wrong. He's like God when he's up there, right? No. Do you ever question him? Well, no, because that takes work. I got to look it up myself. I'm sorry. That's what life is. Okay. I have a meme that I created. As soon as you realize you've been lied to, you become a conspiracy theorist. Okay. Just that simple. As soon as you realize you've been lied to, you become a conspiracy theorist. There is a machine to shout you down and shut you down. Okay. So you are responsible. There is no such thing as a miniature pilgrimage. You are commanded to make Jesus Christ. Why does John use the metaphors repeatedly? No, not John, Yahweh himself, all throughout scripture, but John especially, John the beloved. Why is John beloved? Why is Daniel beloved? They were the only two that talked to you almost as much about the Christ as they did the Antichrist. The captain on the Titanic was a lowercase Jesuit. Okay. He was Jesuit trained Roman Catholic. So, and the Titanic, they killed off all of the guys that were the millionaires that were at risk of not allowing the Federal Reserve take place. So, boom, boom. Okay. Here's the clear and present danger that I'm worried about. And you are ultimately responsible for your soul and your everything. So another example I would say is you've got to do it all for yourself. Okay. You cannot mindlessly trust anybody. You can't. Okay. Let me go back to my metaphor. I didn't finish the metaphor. It's surprise, surprise. I got sidetracked again. Let me go back and finish the metaphor of what it means to be born again in Jesus Christ. John, scripture, marriage. It's a living relationship, Ryan. It's a living relationship. Okay. Christ, you are the bride of Christ. You carry him. This is why. So there's so much deeper, for instance, in this separation of church and state argument. Ultimately, what you actually mean is separation of religion and state. I'm all about it. I'm all about it. But that's not what they mean. They mean separation of Christ and state. Self-examination. We were talking about this offline. Is the surveillance society. What surveillance society does for us is bring home just how surveilled you've always been. You've always been surveilled by Almighty God, who sees everything clearly, and then his angels, the loyal ones, probably have a pretty darn good view. And then the disloyal ones, I believe, see, as the Paul's words, as through a glass darkly. They don't. So there's kind of like John Ronald Reuel Tolkien, who was a Roman Catholic. Why do we keep saying Lord of the Rings, Lord of the Rings, Lord of the Rings, Lord of the Rings? That's why. That's why. Sherlock Holmes, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Is that his full name? No. His full name is Sir Arthur Ignatius Conan Doyle. You didn't know that? He's got four names. Sir Arthur Ignatius. What's that middle name? That middle name is an homage to the founder of the Jesuits, Ignatius Loyola.
Wow.
Why do we keep saying Sherlock Holmes? Seeing Sherlock Holmes, year after year after year, new version. Keep doing it. A couple of reasons, but one reason is he's a Freemasonic Gnostic Roman Catholic. So, anyway, I want to finish up my metaphor and get to the point. Is that you are meant to live Jesus Christ. Live Jesus Christ. You don't do this mini pilgrimage. How did the early church love and fellowship and worship? Did they do a mini pilgrimage to a sacred place? No, that's pagan. That's pagan. Love feast. Did they have a special time and a place and a liturgy? No, that's pagan. Liturgy is pagan. Hey, Wednesday night, Ryan, do me a favor. Wednesday night, come over, bring your family. My wife's going to make stromboli. I know it's greasy, but it's fun. It's really good. Come over and maybe we'll, talk about the word a little bit. Hey, if we really feel like it, maybe we'll sing some hymns. Nothing, let's see how it feels. That's how you're supposed to do it. That's church. That's what church is supposed to be. Okay. Spontaneous, out of love, out of a desire to learn. Hey, this week I'm going to talk. Let's go through John this week. Next week it's on you. I don't care. You pick anything you want to do and you'll take us through it. You watch how you learn when you got to teach it yourself. You watch how fast you learn when you got to teach it yourself. No. I'm going to let the guy trained at seminary. He's the expert. I'm going to let him guide me, right? For 1,000 years. That's what the Dark Ages were. I'll go back. I'll go in the middle of those 1,000 years. What were the Crusades? Tell me, give me as simply as you, not to put you on the spot. Give me a simple explanation of what you think the Crusades were.
I always told the Crusades were basically the Catholic Church trying to free the Temple Mount in Jerusalem, get it back into Christian hands.
You're a lot further along, brother. You're a lot further along than most people. You go on the street and ask them what the Crusades were, and they'll go, that was when Christians went to the Holy Land and killed Muslims and Jews, right? No, you got half it right there. No, the Catholic Church commanded her knights, and don't get me into feudalism. We'll talk about that later if we have time. Commanded her knights to go and kill her enemies. Were her enemies only in Palestine? No. There's a guy by the name of Innocent III. I love these names. Pius #7, Innocent #3. Are you kidding me?
There's some dark sides. I don't know a lot about this, so I'm glad that you're talking about it. But there are some dark things that seem to come up in some secrecy, where this the Roman Catholic Church, the Vatican. It seems like there's just so much more going on than just just church. And
Ryan, it's called Mystery Babylon, Ryan. It's called Mystery Babylon. They control behind the scenes. They control. I need to build a compendium of all the names. I usually just rattle them off the top of my head. As soon as you get into the idea that there are politicians who have taken over from politicians, handing power, father, son, daughter, mother, wife, husband, where you have the same group of people running. I'll give you an example, Nancy Pelosi. Guy by the name of Dingell out of Michigan. The Dingell family have owned a congressional seat for a century, probably more at this point.
Wow.
A century. The House, you supposedly get reelected every 2 years if you were a congressman, congressperson, whatever. You're supposed to get every 2 years for over 100 years. A far left Roman Catholic Dingell has owned. Take a second, look up the seat. Has owned which congressional seat? Let's see here. Dingell, Congress. So it is the Just tell me what seat. Which one? 12th district. 12th district. Look it up. 12th district in Michigan, House of Representatives. Prior to, okay, so who owns that seat right now? There may have been a little bit of a shuffle. Right now, the person sitting in the seat is Debbie Dingell. She has been there since, at least a good 7 years, 10 years. 10 years. 10 years, a decade. A decade. Who owned that seat before her? She was 30 years younger than her husband, John Dingell Jr. John David Dingell Jr. He held his seat for, do the math. I can't do math. How long? I don't know. 60 years? Some insane amount. Some absolutely insane amount. Prior to him, there may have been one or two. His father, John David Dingell Sr., was a congressman. Now, there may have been changing hands, but essentially, this congressional seat, John David Dingell Sr., John David Dingell Jr., and now Debbie Dingell have owned this general area of Michigan politics. They are leftist, Democrat, Catholic. And when you see something like that, please, 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 please throw the BS flag. Here's a bull with a dookie on it. Okay. Throw the BS flag at elections. They are selections. Who is doing the selecting? Rome is. Rome is. And she will wear a brooch with a fasces on it. What is a fasces? A fasces. Oh, by the way, there's two of these in the rotunda. They face each other. They let you know the powers behind them. They are a Roman implement of conquest. A fasces is a bundle of rods binding together a spear or usually an axe. And when Rome conquered a nation, the general would strut into the Capitol. What's a Capitol? Everybody's got a Capitol. Capitol comes from Capitoline Hill, one of the 7 hills of Rome, one of the 7 heads that is explained to you in Revelation. Hopefully I'll get to that. Bring the fasces up with him, plant it in the ground, and bring the leader up, the conquered leader. Come. Do you pledge subservience and loyalty? Pledge allegiance to pledge allegiance to Rome. Well, same thing. Do you pledge allegiance to Rome? And if the leader said no, he would take the fasces and chop his head off. Nobody cut off more heads. Nobody cut off more heads than the Roman to this day. Still do. Nobody cuts off more heads. No such thing as Islamic Jihad. Doesn't exist. Wouldn't exist if it weren't for the CIA. And CIA was founded by a Jesuit, the lowercase j Jesuit. Anyway, chop his head off. If he said yes, then he said, very good. You now owe me several gazillion dollars in taxes. Give me sons from my army and daughters from my harems, etc. I will let you live. That's what a fasces is, and that's in the Capitol Rotunda, 2 of them. Okay? What is also in the Capitol Rotunda is the mace of Rome with the Roman eagle on top of it, the eagle of conquest. Okay? All these implements are in our government. And did you know the architecture of Washington, D.C. is a mirror image of the satanic sex magic that is in the Vatican? St. Peter's Square. I don't want to keep going down these rabbit trails, but it used to. Washington, D.C. is so obviously satanic sex magic, Freemasonic mirror image of the Vatican that it used to be called Little Rome on the Potomac. Let me shut up and pause and collect myself. If you want to go down that rabbit trail, we can. But let me just pull in and make sure that we're. I'm trying to be a good boy. I've been criticized for too many rabbit trails. It's what I do. I'm trying to judge really hard. Ryan, love you, brother. You've never heard this stuff before. Usually when I go on a show, they've never. And so I've got literally centuries of names, places, and dates, facts I got to give out to say, here it is. And so unfortunately, it's all connected and I'm constantly going down rabbit trails. So let me shut up and pause and ask the host what direction he wants to go. Overall, the biggest thing is Rome, and I want to prove Rome, but I'll do it any way you want to do it. The Washington Monument. When you look at stop laughing. When you look at the Washington Monument, you think of George Washington, don't you?
Yeah, that's exactly what I think.
Right. Yeah, that's why you're laughing. You're thinking of George Washington, right? The Washington Monument. Okay, what's behind that? Do you say? Let me ask you pronunciation. Do you say Semiramis or Semiramis?
Semiramis.
Okay, thank you. I'll do that. What he said, Semiramis. So what we have is a legend of the first rebel, Nimrod, the first one to rebel against the Lord, and putting the pieces in that Scripture may or may not tell us. The first one to rebel. Well, what was the rebellion? He was a hunter before the Lord. What did he capture? He captured souls by leading them away from Yahweh. He was all about nation building. He was all about personal power and aggrandizement. He wasn't about just go do your thing, man. Just go do your thing. I told you, by the sweat of your brow shall you eat bread. Go sweat. Enjoy your family. Go plant some seeds. Go till the soil like I told you I wanted you to. No. Let's build cities. Let's build ziggurats that reach up to the domed sky. I'm sorry. Did I say dome? Do you reach up to the sky? Let's build ziggurats that reach up to the sky. Let's coalesce our power and let's all worship me. How about that? Does that sound like a plan? That's the rebel. That's the first rebel. Okay. Nimrod. So the legend goes, it took Shem, the good son of Noah, to bring him to justice. Nobody explains how he did this. Did he have an army himself? Did he just Shem? I'm Shem. You're coming with me. Dead or alive, you're coming with me. RoboCop Shem. So he was able to bring Nimrod to justice. And he was so overwhelmed with the apostasy of Nimrod that he cut Nimrod into pieces and sent him out as a message to civilizations everywhere. The seed of the woman will crush the head of the serpent and will bring you back. You willfully walked away from my presence, and I'm going to give you a gimme. I'm going to give you a mulligan, and it's going to cost me my own son. And this is how it's going to go down. Wait, women? Okay, I went to basic. I hate to say it. I went to high school and I went to a Catholic high school. And seed, that's the guy is the seed, and the woman, seed of the woman. Does that make any sense? No, on purpose. The miracle birth, the virgin birth. Okay. The Holy Spirit overshadowed Miriam. Okay. So Satan knew the plan, Ryan. Satan knew the plan. And he had centuries to echo the plan in these pagan myths and spin them in perverted manners. But I've got a clip that I use of bumper music for my show. Please, any of you good Christians, don't go to my show. If you do, just be ready for the full Johnny, some bad language. By his power and grace, I do not take the Lord's name in vain. I do everything else. Okay, just be prepared. You're going to get the full Johnny. In my interviews, I'm on my best behavior. So, in relation to this myth, and Satan was given the plan, as were Adam and Eve. That's why when Cain killed Abel, Adam and Eve were devastated. We are locked out. We're not getting back. Cain was firstborn. So technically, Cain is the child of promise. Technically, Cain is a child of promise. Now, real quick on this, we're going to hit this Gnostic, we hit this Masonic, Luciferian layouts of Vatican. But as a quick aside, this seed of Cain, seed of Cain, bloodline of Cain, there is an idea, especially within our community, Ryan, that all the worst things are taking place because this is a bloodline of Satan and Eve. And Cain is a son of Satan. Well, y'all ain't reading your Bible. Bible says in Genesis chapter 4, Adam knew his wife Eve, and out popped Cain. Not Satan knew Eve and out popped Cain. Adam was the father of Cain. And Adam knew his wife again, and out came Abel. Okay? So right there, y'all are wrong. There is no, and can I tell you, it triggers me. It triggers me because it is a cop-out. It is a cop-out. Bloodlines don't save, and bloodlines don't condemn. You save or condemn yourself. And most of all, if Satan were able to call into question the purity of Jesus's lineage, he wins. He wins. Either Jesus is discredited from saving all of mankind, or either one, Satan wins, or the sacrifice of Christ covers demons because he's got demon in him. So he is the propitiate sacrifice for, and that's a no. Yahweh says, no. You were in my court. You were in my presence. You saw me face to face and you still walked away. These humans, they were never here. They get to live their lives and make their choice. And they get the mulligan. They get the second chance. They get the outstretched hand, the bloody, pierced through outstretched hand of my son. Angels don't. There is no sympathy for the devil. Rothschild. What does Rothschild stand for? Rothschild, red shield. Meyer Amschel, Rothschild und Son. Purposefully, the acronym is Mars, the Roman god of war. How did Rothschild put himself on the map? Look up. How did we get here? Google. Google tells us this. I just Googled it. Is that a verb? Yes. No, it's not a verb. Don't say that. You'll trigger Johnny Cirucci. Google. What's the birthday of Google? Well, it used to be it changed it. What is it now? September 27th. Oh, that's interesting. September 27th. Is that a significant day? Yeah, it's the birthday of the Jesuits. Google tells me the Rothschilds rule the world behind the scenes. Oh, Elon Musk tells me that on Twitter. Elon Musk, come on, stop. Wait, his name is Elon Musk? Seriously? And yeah, and he makes rockets and he blasts them into space with cars on them. And then he drives them back. Come on. What he runs Tesla. Nikola, the guy that had the brilliant, all the ideas. And then the FBI came and Donald Trump's uncle, John Trump, helped them confiscate all Nikola Tesla's work. And then now a guy named Elon Musk and he created PayPal. I'm sorry, PayPal. Did I say PayPal? Come on. Hello, McFly. Christians, please be discerning. Ask questions. It's the Jews, Johnny. It's the Masons, Johnny. It's the Illuminati. So so here we are. How many? 40 minutes in. Who the heck is this guy? All right, real quick. Okay, we got born and raised Italian Roman Catholic. Some things I walked away from, some things I can't. Can't walk away from being Italian. I did walk away from the Catholic Church. I was blessed to be born again. 16 January 1994. I came home, and a lifetime in the military that I horribly regret and was miserable for me. And as a result of being disenfranchised, I almost basically got kicked out. And been asking questions ever since, and constantly asking questions, born again in Jesus Christ, disenfranchised, asking questions. And this put me on this Illuminati. Who's an Illuminati? Okay, so I'm a soldier. You want me to go to war? You want me to go to war against the Illuminati? How do you want me to do that? I don't know. Go find them. How do they find the Illuminati? Is a trick question. All right, look, instead of the Illuminati, I want you to go after the globalists. Get them, okay? Globalists. How do I get them? I don't know. Trick question. Deep state. Go after the deep state. Go get the deep state. Okay. Go. Who? So, being a soldier, born again in Jesus Christ, I'm looking. What is this Illuminati? There really was a group for a short period of time. I'm looking it up, and as a founder, Johann Adam Weishaupt. And the family was previously Jewish, and then they went in hard for What? Buddhism? Roman Catholicism. And this is how dedicated they were. Oh, Johnny, they were faking. They were faking. They were Moranos. They weren't conversos. They were Moranos. They were secret Jews all along. Really? How Jewish were they? They gave their little boy, Johann Adam, to the Jesuits to train. And he spent his entire life, and he became one. So if you want to go crypto Jew, Johnny, crypto Jew, how did he help the Jews? He helped the Roman Catholic Church. He taught Roman Catholic canon law at the premier Jesuit University of Ingolstadt. Now, never heard that before. Why have I never heard that before? I've never heard that before. Why is nobody saying this? Everybody's saying Illuminati, and hardly anybody's saying Weishaupt, and nobody's saying Jesuit. All right, so I have a mechanics rag, and I joke about it. Excuse me. Open borders, wide open borders. Who does that serve? What is the religion of all these millions and millions and millions? Is it about the fact that they're Hispanic? Is it their race? Is it their ethnicity? Is it their skin color? Or is it about their religion? What is the religion of the vast majority of these illegals pouring across the border for generations? For generations.
Catholic.
High treason. Go ahead.
Catholic.
Yes. Hands down.
Yeah.
So if you have a military agenda to destroy an identity and replace it with Irish, Italian, Hispanic, what do they all have in common? What do they all have in common? Waves of Irish in the early 1800s, waves of Italian in the late 1800s. Is me, guilty as charged. Family came over in waves of immigration. The Lord just laughed. Bring him to me. Here I am, born again in Jesus Christ. Most everybody else, still Roman Catholic. In my own family, still Roman Catholic. Okay? So, anyway, I have a mechanics rag and the packaging. I bought it in Pennsylvania. The packaging it's in Spanish. Are you kidding me? Okay? You dial a phone. It's para español. Where am I? Whom does this serve? Okay, I promise you, Jesuit trained at Fordham, Donald John Trump. I just realized his middle name is the name of the uncle that helped to I just right now on your show realize that his middle name is the name of the uncle that helped decipher the Tesla stuff for the FBI. The FBI and the CIA, two of the most dangerous, malignant organizations in the world. What are the FBI? What's the job of the FBI? The FBI's job is to go to the scene of a big crime and manage it, contain it, not bring people to justice, but keep it under wraps. Who founded the FBI? A Jewish Freemason Illuminati. No, a devout Roman Catholic named Charles Joseph Bonaparte, daily mass Roman Catholic named Charles Joseph Bonaparte, great-grandnephew of Napoleon Bonaparte, and that could be a segue back to the Rothschilds if you want later. Who founded the CIA?
I know this guy from
a Knight of Malta, Roman Catholic Wall Street lawyer named Bill Donovan, and the myths and legends about the great Bill Donovan. Nobody calls him Bill. We call him Wild Bill.
Wild Bill.
What? Wait a minute. He's a DuPont war profiteer lawyer, and he's wild. What was wild about him? The caviar that he ate on Wall Street? Or was that the wild? But the champagne, the bourbon? I mean, get out of here, Wild Bill. No, what's wild about him is that he was a puppet and instrument of Rome. Today, the CIA has got to be the most powerful, most malignant, most evil organization around the world. So how many companies own the media? Well, Johnny, we got local news. Local news, they're what are they? They're an affiliate of big media. There's a devastating video compilation of a bunch of local news talking heads explaining how fake news is right. It's devastating, but hopefully it drives it home. Please, how packages, how scripted this is, how scripted this all is. Is that democracy or is that tyranny? So democracy, right, Johnny? Democracy, which we vote for them. Sure, we do. Anyway, too many rabbit trails. representative republic. You can pick. I just want to give you a quick example of what we really have. We have hardcore far left Democrats who are what they say. I remember where I was, Franklin Cover-Up. Hardcore Democrats who are what they say. Full on far left. Communism is a thing. It's you can call them commies, but it's separate. And communism is another Roman Catholic trap. That's a whole nother show. We can do that though. In your face, bold, far left. And what's your other choice? Conservative Republicans. When the conservative Republicans take in over from the hardcore, not quotes, hardcore far left Democrats, what changes? Nothing. So when Donald Trump got first elected, build that wall. The wall never got built. I told my audience, I said, Donald Trump will build a wall as fast as another candidacy promise, Barack Obama. There's a whole nother show, Barack Obama, Jesuit, CIA. One of his campaign promises was to dismantle Guantanamo Bay. I'm going to take it down. I'm going to get rid of Guantanamo Bay. Why? What's Guantanamo Bay? Guantanamo Bay is the secret black torture rendition site run by the CIA and the Navy in Cuba. Wait, Cuba? I thought they hated us. I thought they were communists. I thought they were our enemy. Didn't we almost go to war with them? Why would they allow the Navy and the CIA to torture America's enemies on theirs? Why do we even have one there? Oh, wait. If they have something that's not CONUS, continental United States, then the rules don't apply. Technically, that's why Google had a barge, so the rules don't apply. You're outside the United States. Why would Cuba allow that? Why would Fidel allow that? Fidel was in office for decades. He was an atheist communist, wasn't he? Well, after he hit the stage, he was. Prior to being popular, he was a devout Jesuit-trained Roman Catholic. Mommy was a hyper-devout Catholic. He went to 3 Catholic schools, and 2 of them were Jesuit schools. Wow. Fidel. Look up how many times that the CIA tried to go. Now, meanwhile, back in the news, if John F. Kennedy really did get his brains blown out in Dallas, who do you think did it? Did Lee Harvey Oswald do it from the second floor of the book depository? What do you think?
I don't think certainly if he tried or whatever. Sure, but I don't think he acted alone, and I don't think.
Yeah, it's physically impossible to do whatever the story is. Like 3 rounds from a 6.5 millimeter Mannlicher Carcano, a World War I bolt action rifle in like 8 seconds. I can tell you, as a target shooter, I absolutely despise hunting, but I'm big on target shooting. Enjoy it as a recreation. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Other people have been done. People better than me. Okay, no. The Zapruder film. What does the Zapruder film show? Poor JFK getting his head thrown back into the left, says Jesse Ventura. Back into the left. Oliver Stone, who used to teach Catholic school in Vietnam. Oliver Stone, back into the left, which means the kill shot came front and to the right. Okay? If the Zapruder film was legit, which a whole nother show. Okay? So, what the heck are you talking about Kennedy being shot for? How do we get there? Never. Why is it that we have 2 choices and it's a uniparty and they all do the same thing? And the Democrats claim they hate war and there are more wars during a Democrat. And the Republicans say they hate open borders and the illegals pouring across the border. Right now, we have some ridiculous theater. I call it Jesuit theater. Did you know the Jesuits were the one that created Hollywood? The Jesuits were the one that created theater. Great book. I absolutely recommend it. Rulers of Evil by Frederick Tupper Saucy III, who's probably a Freemason, is grandfather was a Freemason, but it's okay. It's a darn good book. It's a must-have after mine, of course. Go buy Johnny's books first. Rulers of Evil. You can buy it on CIA Amazon. I'm sorry, Leviathan. No, Amazon. You can buy it on Amazon for $666. For some reason, they don't want you to have Rulers of Evil. Great book. Tells you all about how the Jesuits created Hollywood, created theater, created the Rothschilds, the Red Shields, the Rothschilds, Mars, Minor Amschel, Rothschild and Son. Why did he like the Roman god of war? How did the Rothschilds get blown up? How did they get all their gazillions of dollars? They were insider trading off of Napoleon Bonaparte's, we love him so much, we'll just call him Napoleon, off of Bonaparte's loss at Waterloo. How did they know before anybody else knew? So they could do insider trading and buy and sell and sell and buy. Who knew that Napoleon Bonaparte, he was a Freemason and he was like a French, he was Jewish? No, he was French? No, he was an Italian Catholic Freemason who had a priest, Emmanuel Sias, as his consigliere. Okay, we'll stay with the mafioso stuff. And when his consigliere said, kill your army, he said, done. Happy. March your army into Russia. Wipe them out. They're a little too powerful. Done. Done. Adolf Hitler did the same thing. Too dangerous. Suicide your army into Russia. Done. Done. Adolf Hitler, right? Hitler was right. Hitler was right. If we'd only listen to Hitler, says Kanye West. For real, dude. For real. Who is this guy? Is he an expert? Is he a historian? No, he's a rapper. Wait, what? Okay, come on. You're funning me. You're funning me out there with the White Lives Matter, the swastika. Come on. It's a goof, right? It's a goof. No, it's okay. Now, clearly, it's somebody behind him. These are not his ideas. Okay, wake up. Hello, McFly. Oh, did you know that the CIA tried to kill Fidel Castro like 365 times and just couldn't do it? One time with like an exploding cigar, and another time it was like ice cream, and another time I think it was like with a balloon and a firecracker floating down. So basically, the CIA could blow the brains out of John F. Kennedy in broad daylight in Dallas, but they just couldn't get Fidel, because when it came to killing Fidel, the agent that was in charge was Wile E. Coyote. He kept trying to put the Acme and it wasn't working. I don't know what's going on. Now, pause. What makes more sense? What makes more sense is that something controlling the CIA wanted Fidel Castro, the Jesuit, lowercase j, ruling Cuba for generations, to stay right where he was. Wait a minute. I thought the CIA was in our best interest. They were looking out for us and freedom and the American flag. What? Conducting LSD experiments, not just on prisoners, but innocent, unwitting Americans, to learn how to mind control. What was Iran-Contra all about? It was about selling weapons, selling F-14s to Iran. Oh, brilliant strategy. We'll sell F-14s to Iran, and then Tom Cruise will fly them in, and then they'll keep fighting with Iraq, and we'll take that money and we'll give it to the brave Contras to fight the communists in El Salvador. That's what really, and we'll have a brave Marine like Oliver North. And even though he's retired, he'll dust off his uniform and put it back on and swear in at the Iran-Contra hearings. Is that what Iran-Contra is really about? Hey, look, I'm all about that. There's nothing wrong with that, right? What, drugs? Wait, drugs? Are you kidding me? Drugs? What? No, drugs? Who's moving the drugs on city streets? Who's dumping drugs in? The CIA. It's a level of indoctrination and control the Catholic Church exploits, especially a Jesuit school. And if you don't know any better, oh, perfect. Johnny, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous, Johnny. How many people are getting trained by Catholics? Catholic schools are everywhere. Wait, what? Catholic schools are everywhere. That's infrastructure. The Catholic Church runs Wait a minute. This is separation church and state. The Catholic Church runs schools. What else do they run? Yeah, that's going to be telling me they run hospitals and orphanages. They do. They do? Are you kidding me? It's the Jews, Johnny. Come on. It's aliens. You need to focus on the important things. Aliens. The Jesuits are telling us about the aliens. Right? Somebody was talking about, oh my goodness, Sitchin, right? Where did he get carried to the gods? Where did he get his Jesuits? He was in a Jesuit school. His Jesuit priest told him, I can give up the names. I'll pull up his Zachariah Sitchin. I'll tell you the name of the Jesuit priest who was teaching him. Oh, my son, that sounds like a really good story. Did you hear this guy? Oh, you run with that, my son. You run with that. Are you kidding me? They're looking up at the sky, right? Who are they? How are they doing it? Oh, the Jesuits. They're good astronomers, the Jesuits are. Why are the Jesuits astronomers? Just do your Jesuit thing and promulgate your religion. What are you astronomers for? You've got an observatory in Rome, and you've got another one where?
Hawaii, right? Is it Hawaii?
There may be. I know for sure there's one in Arizona.
Yeah, that's
on Mount Graham. Is that the one you're thinking of? Good. Okay, that's the same one we're thinking of. Mount Graham. And who owns it? Who pays the bills? You pay the bills. It's the secular public University of Arizona. What are they doing letting Jesuits? I don't think Mount Graham's over here, but what are they doing letting Jesuits run their observatory on Mount Graham? Well, all right. Well, first of all, why are you all up in the air? Does it matter? It's an observatory. If your mountain is here and the land is here and the sun is 80 million miles away. Well, wait a minute. Let me look. The sun and the moon, they sure look the same size to me. All right. If I'm telling shut up. Listen to the experts. Don't think for yourself. The sun and the moon are vastly different in size. Don't tell me they look the same. Well, that's what they look like. No, the experts say it's an illusion. Who's Antichrist? Oh, well, Adolf Hitler. He was like an evil guy, wasn't he? Adolf Hitler, out of Munich. His tour de force, Mein Kampf, my struggle against the Jewish bankers, my struggle. He wrote that, right? No. A colored Jesuit named Bernard Stumpfel wrote it for him. What? The epitome of evil was a puppet for Rome? Are you kidding me?
Dude, I like the fact when someone challenges me, and I just got challenged, and I love it. And thank you. So
that's how we grow. That's how we grow. You know when we stop growing? When we're standing before Christ.
Yeah.
We're standing before Christ. I learn things. Everybody learns. When you're not learning, the people that say, I don't sin anymore. You just sinned right there. You just sinned. Okay. So go back to the drawing board. We are always growing and learning. And to be a Christian is to be fearless in truth, is to allow him to rock your world. Okay. To stay the surest impediment to receiving the truth is to know for sure that you already have it. Okay? You're not going to get it if your mind is like a steel trap, closed. Okay? You got to be open to it. You got to be awake to it. Believe NASA and the forked tongue. The sun is 800 times bigger than the moon. And just by coincidence happens to be 800 times further away. And so they still line up. Do you know that that's mathematically impossible to handle by random chance, right? You please tell me you know that, okay? So either there is an intelligent designer behind your idea and you say there isn't, or you're lying to me and they really are the same bloody size. Okay? We can get into that a whole nother show, all right? Cosmology. I'm not flat Earth. I just know that spinning globes are bullpucky. Because there is no curvature. Whoa. They lied to us about what our environment is. Have you seen a movie called The Matrix? Okay. Your whole life is a lie. And as soon as you realize you've been lied to, you become a conspiracy theorist.
Okay, first of all, if you're still here, you're my kind of people, because that was a lot to take in. And I want to be real clear about something. Look, I love Johnny Cirucci's heart. I love his passion. I love his boldness. He's funny. There's a lot he said today that I nod my head to and go, yep, I can see that. There's also some stuff I'm still wrestling with. And that's okay, because truth seeking isn't about blind agreement. It's about testing everything. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, Johnny takes us down some rabbit trails, no doubt about it. And at times that makes it a little hard to stay with him. But here's what I found. When I went back and really listened, especially while editing this episode, a lot of what he said started making a lot more sense. He's sharp, he's funny, he's relentless, and he's willing to say what most people won't even whisper. Now, I'm not ready to lump every person or every group into one category, i.e. the Catholic Church or Jesuits. I just don't think that's honest. I haven't studied enough to do that, and I won't pretend to. To comment beyond what I know wouldn't just be wrong, it would be a lie, and I'm man enough to tell you that. I'm man enough to tell you I just don't know. But I am willing, very willing, to dive in, to research, and to ask the hard questions. And I challenge you to do the same, especially if this episode challenged your worldview or your paradigm, because that's the only way truth survives. It survives the test. Now, this conversation with Johnny was over 2 hours and 15 minutes long. What you heard today was just part of that journey. If you want to hear the full unedited conversation, the entire raw audio, you can check it out at theryanfiles.com. Take it in as you have time, sit with it, wrestle with it. That's what this show's all about. And listen, I would love to hear your thoughts. What do you think of this episode? Do you want to have Johnny Cirucci back? What should we talk about next time? What questions should I ask him? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read them, I value them, and this community is built on conversation, not just consumption. That's why you should join us for the Friday Night Mic Drops. I want to hear from you. If you got value from today's episode, if you believe in what we're doing here, and most important, if this episode challenged you to really think, to prove your beliefs, to commit to diving deeper because your worldview just got rocked, then please like this video, subscribe to the channel, share it with someone who needs to hear it. We're working hard to expand this audience, and you are a vital part of that. Thank you. If you want to take it even further, join us. You can become a YouTube channel member right here, get access to exclusive content, early releases, and new channel emojis. Or support the mission over at patreon.com/theryanfiles. Become an agent. Your help means everything. I can't thank you enough. And we've also got some new affiliates coming on, ways for you to get awesome resources and support the show at the same time. And every single person that joins this mission helps keep us asking the hard questions that nobody else is willing to touch. To everyone out there who's already supporting, already liking, already commenting, your family, you're part of this. And I'm beyond grateful to you. Thank you. Be amazing, be positive, and stay curious out there, my friends, because truth always survives the test. And I'll see you next week right here on the Ryan Files.
Are you not curious?
Preparing to transfer the Ryan Files. Now.
I present to you, with great intrigue and wonder, the Ryan Files.
Love you, brother. You're not going to hurt my feelings if you very wisely edit, pare down. Listen, just do a what do they call it when you just put up a vid and say, okay, this is too hot for YouTube. Come over here and watch this.
Yeah.
You know,
whatever it is, it's going to be, the bottom line is it's going to be out there. I'm just not going to be as stupid as why put something
please
up
don't get a strike from me. No. Yeah. Yes, please don't get a strike from me. All I ask is that you send me links so that I can mirror it, put it up on my channels, and I'll promote you as this is the host. This is his show, and I was blessed to be here, and I'm going to post this on my channels as well, brother.